Starting today, overseas Koreans who have registered to vote will be able to cast their ballots in the May 9th presidential election. Polling stations will be open in 116 countries around the world until April 30th. And with that, the major candidates used the first day of the work week to highlight their specific pledges that appeal to this group of voters. Myung-kil has the details.
Democratic Party of Korea candidate Moon Jae-in has vowed to set up an agency for overseas Koreans under either the Interior or the Foreign Ministry. The agency would expand financial support to Korean schools abroad and strengthen the global network of Korean nationals. Moon also promised to set up extra diplomatic offices around the world in locations frequented by Korean tourists. Liberty Korea's Hong Jun-pyo has plans for a similar agency that will be set up under the Prime Minister's office. The agency would provide overseas Koreans with educational support, foster exchange projects, and supervise overseas voting procedures. Hong also promised to build a museum dedicated to overseas Koreans. The People's Party's An Cheol-soo wants to establish a presidential committee for overseas Koreans and pledged financial support to Korean students studying abroad to help with their tuition. He also said he would expand the rights of Koreans who have permanent residency abroad, for example, by increasing the number of polling booths and introducing a vote-by-mail system. On the security front, An promised to beef up protections for Koreans living abroad. The Pareum Party's Yoo Seung-min says he will keep the Overseas Koreans Foundation under the Foreign Ministry. He promised to boost pride in the Korean identity among overseas Koreans and revitalize cultural exchanges. He also vowed to improve consular services and diplomatic protections for overseas Koreans. The Justice Party Sim Sang-jung promised to set up an independent agency for overseas Koreans that would provide legal aid to overseas Koreans and Koreans traveling abroad. She also said she would consider expanding the number of countries eligible for dual citizenship, for applicants who pay taxes in Korea and for men who complete their mandatory military service. A record number, 294,000 overseas Koreans, are expected to vote in the presidential election this year. Myung-kil, Arirang News.